guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. Hopefully this right here becomes my new filming area. So someone told me to put my 2 cents in on the Great Spider-Man debate. I don't know if I'm gonna call it that, but anyway, so basically as it stands right now, Sony and Marvel, or Disney, have the deal of Marvel/Disney gets 50% of the movie profits, and so does Sony. But Marvel, Disney, I'm just gonna call it Disney because Disney bought Marvel out. Anyway, Disney gets the merchandise price, the merchandise profit, and first day ticket sales. And doesn't have to pay the producing cost that comes along with producing the character of Spider-Man. Sony does, because Sony owns Spider-Man. Sony owns Spider-Man. And they pay all of the producing costs that come along with the character of Spider-Man. And Marvel does not. And Marvel released a second or first deal trying to combat what Sony is saying. So basically, Sony, and most people get this wrong, Sony said that Marvel, Disney, if I say either, just don't correct me. Anyway, Marvel wasn't paying the right amount of attention to Spider-Man, and that Marvel didn't deserve to have Spider-Man in their movies. So right now, as the dealings are going on, Spider-Man is ripped out of the MCU. And by ripped, I mean neither Sony or Marvel can make movies using Spider-Man until each side is happy with the new deal that will be made. And Marvel put out a I don't even know what to call it because it's not the final deal, and they're basically, this is Marvel's first move on trying to delegate for Spider-Man. And their deal, it now stands that they, or Marvel, would get 30% of all movie profits that include Spider-Man in them, and Sony would get 70% of all movie profits that come with the Spider-Man. And they would also get merchandise prices, or merchandise profits. There we go, not prices, profits. Also with first day ticket sales. So basically Marvel is taking, their deal is that Marvel is taking all the profits that they currently have and shifting them to Sony. So Sony would get the profits that they do currently. And Marvel would also pay for producing the character of Spider-Man. So the costs that Sony now pays to have Spider-Man would go to Marvel. So Marvel would be paying it to have Spider-Man in their movies. And then, and that's just deal number one, or offer number one. That's the right word. That's what I was looking for. Anyway, that's their first offer. That's the first offer that the public has read or seen or explored. And you're probably thinking, Haley, you haven't said anything about Spider-Man. That's because it's not about Spider-Man. It's about the profits that come along with Spider-Man. Sony wants more money, but Marvel wants to keep the money that they already have. So they're both fighting over not the character Spider-Man, but the money that he rakes in. Is basically what they're fighting over. And Marvel had a 7 more movie plan with Spider-Man. That doesn't include the Avengers movies that they have planned along with Spider-Man, his own movie. So basically, I'm now on the topic of Spider-Man. Yeah. So, Spider-Man the character. So, the web-slinging, joke-making superhero, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Basically, Marvel had 7 movies in line to come after Homecoming. This also includes Avengers movies. So, the actor that plays Spider-Man, Tom Holland, was in, or is still in, a 7-movie contract with Marvel and Sony. And since this debate, these offers are going off, that 7-movie contract stopped. Neither Sony or Marvel can continue on the plans that they had for Spider-Man until the money debate is to somewhat of a satisfaction. And I just think that all of it is stupid. Sony, yeah, you've had Spider-Man for what? Almost, you've started portraying Spider-Man in 2000, correct me if I'm wrong, 2004 to 2006, and that was, no, 2004 to 2010, I'm pretty sure it was, for Tobey Maguire. And then they continued to have Spider-Man for Andrew Garfield's run of Spider-Man, which was only from 2012 to 2004. Which I personally actually did like the Amazing Spider-Man series. Well, it wasn't a series, it was only 2 movies. But it was supposed to be a trilogy like Tobey Maguire's run. I personally did not like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, or the portrayal of Tobey's Spider-Man. I liked Andrew's. I can hear my grandma talking about me, I'm sorry. But anyway, I personally liked Andrew Garfield's portray of Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland's more because he is the perfect mix of nerdy and witty. The nerdiness of Peter Parker, but the wittiness of Spider-Man. Put those two together and you got the perfect portray of this mantle that everybody knows and loves from the comic books. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is the most comic book accurate of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. But I just my 2 cents on the debate is that Sony and Marvel need to step out of their own egos. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sony has had this character for over 10 years. Probably even more than that. But holy crap, Spider-Man has been around for almost 20 years. Anyway, but Sony has had this character and portrayed this character for 10 plus years. And each time the 2 times that they've portrayed Spider-Man have failed. They have failed. And that's just not my personal opinion. That's newspapers upon newspapers and movie critics and all of this combined to say, Sony, what you have done with Spider-Man isn't working. Your method of rebooting and rebooting and rebooting and rebooting and rebooting isn't working. So, and I'm pretty sure Sony saw this, so they lent Spider-Man out to Marvel. Marvel has done great with the character for the 4 years? No, not even 4. for the 3 years that, because 2017 is when we first saw, no, it was 4, because the first time we saw Spider-Man is in Civil War, at the end of Civil War. And that was a 2016 movie? Correct me if I'm wrong. And they have done amazing with this character. And now that they've done amazing with this character, Sony's like, we want him back. But my 2 cents in on the great, I'm going to call this the money debate. And the money debate basically, oh, excuse me. Basically, my idea on it is that everything should just be 50-50. Not just money prices, money of the movie or money of the first of whatever their deal is currently. Like 50-50 on everything. Producing, merchandise, first day tickets, the actual movie, the DVDs, everything. Just go 50-50 on everything. That way you both make a stupid profit. I wish the world didn't revolve around money, but it does. And if Sony and Marvel, I'm just kind of worried that Sony and Marvel won't ever fix this debate or this money whatever, then we'll never get Spider-Man again. And I needs me my Spider-Man. If you couldn't tell by this giant drawing of superheroes right here. But it's just, I will be very, very surprised if Sony does not have at least 100 protesters outside their building just begging to fix everything for Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man is their biggest profit maker for their company. If they did not have Spider-Man, I don't think Sony would have made it. Anyway, enough of me rambling on. Actually, I will follow the first person to get all of these superheroes correct. And I will let you look for a good... Yeah, that's good. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.